back to my channel. I'm really excited for this video because it's part of a bigger idea that I have in regards to videos on my channel. I've had this idea for a very long time, so I'm excited to finally be doing it, and that is the Read Like series. So what I'll be doing is taking like video game characters and then seeing what books I think that they would be reading or something that they would maybe be into. What sparked the idea was I play a lot of Animal Crossing New Horizons. In fact, I stream it over on Twitch. If you did not know, my name on Twitch is Sekhmet ECA, and that's primarily what I have been streaming. And oftentimes in Animal Crossing, the characters are super cute and they sit and they pull out a book and they're reading and it's adorable, and I've always wondered, like, what are they talking about or what are they reading? And there are some like Animal Crossing types, like there's a sister type, and they're usually ones that will talk to you about books, or like if you're gone from the game for a long time, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I missed you so much, you must have been really into a book and you'll have to let me know how it is so that I can read it. So that kind of sparked it of being like, what are they reading? What do I think they're reading? Are we having conversations about books, or do we have an island book club? My island definitely does. My island is library themed, so if you want to see that, you gotta follow me on Twitch to check that out. But today I've reserved a couple characters that I thought would be fun to kind of think about what they're maybe reading. And yeah, let me know if you agree in the comments, or let me know if you can think of a book that you think these characters might be reading. So let's jump into it. First, we got my girl Olive. I love Olive so much. She's one of my favorite villagers. She's one of the types that will talk to you about books, or will ask like what your favorite genre is, or she'll just mention that she's been reading. So in this photo you can see I'm patiently waiting for her to finish up so that we can talk about said book. And what book do I think this is? I think it is Hummingbird Salamander by Jeff Vandermeer, strictly because I really loved this book. And I feel like Olive would too, especially since she's always asking me what I'm reading, so I think we're reading this together. This is an eco-horror. I love Jeff Vandermeer's writing very much. I have read the whole Southern Reach trilogy. I have read his short story collection, The Third Bear. I tried to read Peculiar Peril and I kept falling asleep, so that's the one that like I don't think I like. But Hummingbird Salamander, I loved it. I'll read the synopsis for you. The security consultant Jane Smith receives an envelope with a key to a storage unit that holds a taxidermied hummingbird and clues leading her to a taxidermied salamander. Sylvania, the dead woman who left the note, was a reputed eco-terrorist and the daughter of an Argentine industrialist. By taking the hummingbird from the storage unit, Jane sets in motion a series of events that quickly spiral beyond her control. Soon Jane and her family are in danger, with few allies to help her make sense of the true scope of the peril. Is the only way to safety to follow in Sylvania's footsteps? Is it too late to stop? As Jane desperately seeks answers about why Sylvania contacted her, time is running out for her and possibly the world. This was fantastic and very mysterious. I listened to the audio and then finished the rest of it with the physical copy, and the cover is gorgeous, just first off. But I really liked this. It is from the perspective of Jane Smith, sort of like diary entries, and it's her recounting events up until present. Or seemingly present, as she is telling you the different clues she's uncovering, and when she starts to realize that, oh, maybe she's not safe, and oh, maybe her family isn't safe, and you never really know full information about the main character, which I really like. I just really liked this book. I think Olive would too, and I think we would talk about it all day. So that's Olive. Next up, I'm gonna put the book behind me. Next up, we have COCO. I love COCO. Here she is hanging out on Library Island. That's my island. I think COCO is reading a nonfiction. I think she's a nonfiction girly. And I think she's reading How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. This is what the new science of psychedelics teaches us about consciousness, dying, addiction, depression, and transcendence. I really enjoyed this. I read this some years ago, and it was really fascinating. He recounts the histories of psychedelics within different cultures, what leads to psychedelics being like banned or illegal, the different people that are using psychedelics as treatment. It's really, really fascinating. The thing that I mostly remember from this book is two things. One, he was in Washington State looking for psychedelic mushrooms, and that whole chapter was just very interesting. He was mainly in like the Pacific Northwest looking for a mushroom that is specifically only in the Pacific Northwest, and with this guide that like he couldn't give information about, and it was like his experience with this guy. It was very interesting. And the second thing is he's interviewing a psychologist at some point way later in the book. I can't recall her name right now. It's been some years, but she wrote a book or a paper about how on psychedelics, how people talk about how like colors are brighter, sounds have colors or taste, and there's this kind of like synesthesia thing going on when you're on psychedelics. But she equated that to babies and the way that babies are learning about the world, and how like it must be the trippiest thing for babies, for us as babies, to be observing so much. And I think there was a line where she was like, babies are basically tripping balls. I just thought that was really, really funny. Yeah, it was just a fascinating thing to think about. Like, yeah, everything is new. Every color is new. Every sound, every smell is new. So it does kind of make sense to equate that to an adult being on a psychedelic. The author takes various psychedelics and also documents his experience, things that he sees, hears, and feels, how it makes him feel, how it adds to his study, and different things in life that he takes away with that. And I feel like COCO would read that. She talks about a lot of weird things on the island. She's also the type that will talk about books. And I don't know, this just seems up her alley. I don't know why. I was looking at my nonfiction shelf, and I was like, what is COCO reading? And I just really think she'd be reading something about psychedelics. Do you agree? Okay, next we have the sweetie Filbert. I love my boy Filbert so much. As you can see, his eyes are wide because I think he found a meal that he wants to make, and he knows that Olive will make it with him, because she's the big sister type, obviously. And I think that is Auntie Sahai's cook. Auntie Sahai Cooks. This is a guide to making authentic Ethiopian and Eritrean cuisine. It's a very extensive cookbook. It even teaches you how to make injera. I followed many recipes within this cookbook, and I really, really like it. It's easy to follow, easy to read. The food always comes out magnificent, and I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I think Filbert would be really into some Ethiopian food. I think he would enjoy the colors. I think that he would like the injera. I think that he would like that he doesn't have to use a spoon and fork and he can eat with his hands. I think he would love that. And I think he would be, marking everything that he wants to eat and then running and taking that to Olive, and then Olive cooking it for him, and then them having a nice time trying out these different cuisines. But you cannot tell me that Filbert is not reading a cookbook. Maybe not with the intent to make it himself, but there's no way he's reading anything else that doesn't have anything to do with food. Like, oops, he is the foodie. That's what I think. Okay, next we have Pecan. Pecan is so cute. I had her on my island for a hot minute. This photo is actually from Happy Home Paradise, which is the DLC in Animal Crossing where you make characters' vacation homes. It's very fun and it's very, very cute. I designed this cute little book nook for her. I think, what is she holding? Is that a cup? What is she holding? I don't even know what she's holding. Maybe it is a book, but she's got a book in front of her. And I noticed that the book in front of her was kind of yellow. And I was like, okay, I want her to have some sort of like book she could probably read in a day, something chill, maybe with like a good mystery, good characters, and with her book nook, seems like she's definitely like a bookstagrammer or a book reviewer. So I think she's reading Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I read this. My friend Elle gifted me this copy. Was that for my birthday? I think it was for my birthday. They're so nice and kind. This is one of their favorite books, and so they sent it to me to read. And I did annotate, or did I just mark parts I liked? I think I lightly annotated and then mostly marked post spots that I like. Anyway, I will read the synopsis of this one as well. It says, looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of 8 strangers hostage. Each of them carries a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, and passions that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. In short, they are the worst group of hostages in the world. But as the minutes tick by, they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. As the authorities and the media surround the premises, these reluctant allies will reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion a chain of events so unexpected that even they can hardly explain what happens next. Anxious People is an ingeniously constructed story about the enduring power of friendship, forgiveness, and hope, the things that save us even in the most anxious of times. This was such a good read. I really liked, there's like a breakdown of each character. You really learn who they truly are. They each get their own like section, but it's not like a frantic POV change where you're like, okay, who am I following? It's very diligent and like, okay, now we're gonna take a deep dive on this woman and why she's so obsessed with IKEA. Like, we really get into the characters, and I really, really liked that. The failed bank robber, I mean, it's humorous, it's sad, there's a lot going on. The very beginning of it strongly reminded me of that Psych episode, Gus Walks Into a Bank. If you know that, I think you would like this. But so I just really think that PECAN would read this. I think she would definitely read this in a day. It's a fast read. I think she would enjoy posting a review about it. I think she would take such a cute photo in her little reading nook area. I think she would post it. I think she would maybe have like a little book club going on. And I think that this is just the type of books that PECAN is probably reading. Let me know if you agree or what you think all these characters are agreeing or are reading. If you agree with me, great. If not, I totally understand. Let me know what you think that they are reading. I do have more videos like this planned with video game characters, and I'm really excited to get into it. And I will probably do more Animal Crossing ones just because they're frequently sitting all over the island reading. There's so many photos I have of so many different characters reading that, I mean, I can pick books like this endlessly. But I'm definitely going to be tapping into different video games. And so yeah, this was the first episode of Read Like. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for subscribing and commenting and liking, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!